Hey there, Dane Cash here. Before you go any further, I'm going to take a quick moment of your time to say that if you've ever considered becoming an Escape Collective member, now is a great time to do it. It's Tour de France season, and you won't want to miss our members-only shows over the next few weeks. You also won't want to hit a paywall when you're trying to read our racing analysis or our deep dives into tech. And on top of that, you can get your first month for just $1 right now. Head on over to escapecollective.com/TDF and sign up.
Welcome back to the Escape Collective Tour Daily Podcast, everybody. I'm Caley Fretz. We just finished watching stage 15 of the Tour de France. A phenomenal victory for Tadej Pogačar. I believe he beat the climbing record of Marco Pantani up Plateau de Beille, which is something.
Surely something.
Surely something. Big old tailwind, I will mention. Whenever you see those sort of stats, the context of the race is important. But
and a good domestique
nonetheless,
in Jonas Vingegaard.
He had a fantastic domestique in Jonas Vingegaard. Nonetheless, a pretty incredible ride. That's his third stage win of this tour. He looks like he's going to be really hard to beat. Johnny Long.
Hi. 3 stage wins is what he usually gets, so now he's done.
Yeah.
And he'll probably win the bike race. Maybe not. It's not over.
Yeah, we'll see.
But maybe it is. Hi, by the way.
Hi, Johnny. And Iain Triller, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm having a lovely time.
What did you think of today's stage?
Yeah, great.
Okay, good.
Any further questions? No, I think it was a fascinating stage. I think it had a little bit of something for everyone. There was a breakaway, including, I might note, Tobias Johannesson, who I thought would get in a breakaway yesterday.
Your friend.
Did you?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Absolutely.
I do remember that.
And he did. And he was good.
He did.
But there were some other good people in the breakaway. There was Hindley, there was Mas, there was De Plus.
We had 2 Grand Tour winners
Yeah.
in the breakaway today. Carapaz and Hindley.
Thank you for helping.
It was really good.
Johnny looking off into space. Who were
So
they?
Enric Mas has not won shit.
Yeah, so the breakaway was good. The actual pointy end of the field was really good. It was good bike race.
They're racing their bikes today, everyone.
Everyone was having a go.
God bless everyone.
Even the people at the back were racing their bikes.
I was going to say, Johnny was really excited just today in general. So we may hear some just like excessive positivity from Johnny today.
It's just a good day.
It's just a good day.
We've got a great hotel here. We're looking out on some good mountains. Not great, good mountains.
Had a good place last night.
Had a great place last night.
Not as good as the soft and lumpy mountains that you
Those
liked.
soft and lumpy mountains are so good. I'm going to find out whether I was looking up like property and land prices in the locality this morning. So cheap, honestly. Give it another 2 years of Escape and then retire. It's that cheap.
Let's go back to the bike race. So the break was never really allowed much time today.
No.
It was a very, very strong breakaway, but they were never given all that much time, and it was always pretty clear that it was going to come back together, right? And the team that made that happen was Visma Lease Bike, and it was clearly a purposeful tactic. They wanted to make it really hard for Tadej Pogačar. They viewed this as their best way to potentially break him and to potentially take the time back that Jonas Vingegaard needed. Obviously, it didn't work. Right, we watched it kind of play out. We saw an frankly incredible pull from Matteo Jorgensen as sort of Vingegaard's last man. He pulled back the remnants of the breakaway. Then Vingegaard took off on his own. And I wrote a story yesterday, and the title of it was it's legs, right? It's legs, not the tactics. And you can lay out all the tactics you want, and if you don't have the legs, you can't make it happen. And that's basically what it came down to today. But I don't necessarily think that means that the tactics were wrong, right? I think that this was probably their best option. This was a great stage for Vingegaard. It was a final climb that really suited him very well. It had a bunch of steep sections. He really likes steep sections. Particularly this year seems to be really good in steep sections relative to Pogačar. He's a bit lighter, so that would make sense. But it just they weren't able to finish it off physically, even if the tactics, I think, were actually okay. If it comes off, it looks genius. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't, it looks dumb. But really, it was just the best option.
didn't look dumb. Like they just gave it a go.
You just got to give it a go.
You've got to try. The thing is, they are definitely dealing with a more mature Pogačar, even if he still attacks all the time. Because we saw him during the stage. I think we saw it at least twice. It definitely happened more at 30 kilometers and 10 kilometers to go, where he just took a bead on and just opened screwed the cap off and just dunked it all over his head just to cool himself down this hot day, because that's something he struggled with in the past. The quotes afterwards saying he was focused on keeping cool and eating all day. So even if we still see this discrepancy between the rigor that Visma Lease Bike have and maybe the more, let's say, fairer attitude to bike racing, more romantic style for UAE, they've still tuned themselves up and are like, right, we need to not cost our guy the Tour de France again by not having him prepared and like assisting him to help him in the heat, the literal heat at the moment, to, you know, be able to perform his best.
And also, what else could they have done? Like, is there another tactic that would have worked better? Is there another tactic that they could have tried with what we know about the composition of the team?
Yeah, if your rider is not as good as the other rider,
It makes it really hard.
It makes it really hard to ever get any time on him, because all Pogačar has to do is follow Vingegaard around, which is exactly what he did today, right? Like, he doesn't even need a team at that point. Yeah, there's some other sort of crazy, tricky things you could do. I'm trying to think back to like incidents in which a rider took back significant time in a way that was unusual or tactical, and like Chris Froome with the Giro is what came to mind. But at the same time, the reason why that worked is because he was also incredibly strong, and he was taking time in the descents, he was taking time everywhere. There was really no way forward for Vingegaard and Visma today, and you know, if I was Christian Neerman, God forbid, I would.
I don't know. That looks pretty good life.
That was a bit of fun.
Caley sometimes does in the pod where he'll just unloads a clip on like some stray thing that just wanders past that we weren't even talking about before.
Sorry, what I meant by that was I do not want to be
Christian Neerman.
No.
Three strong, strapping lads.
I don't want that job. I don't want that job. Sorry, that probably came across.
You don't want that job?
No.
Why not?
Because that sounds terrible.
You're just in the car, just telling them to keep going. Easy. You got Patrick Bro back in the control room giving you all your tactics. You're sorted.
Anyway, if I was Christian Neerman, I would have told him the same thing, right? You would have sat down last night. You would have said, all right, this is our shot. It's a great stage for our team, for our GC leader. The final climb is good for him.
We've actually got audio from that meeting.
Which meeting?
Oh, really?
The Christian Neerman meeting last night where he sat down with the boys.
Really?
Yeah. Let's cut to it now.
Okay.
Okay, Matteo, you just have to go real hard, okay?
Okay, I pledge allegiance to Jonas Vingegaard.
And Jonas, after Matteo goes really hard, you just gotta go like a fucking motorbike, huh?
Okay, and then afterwards I call my wife?
Always. You always call your wife after the stage. You
Okay.
know this, Jonas. You know this by now.
Okay, got it.
I'm pulling you guys back out. All right, so my point stands. I don't think they could have done anything differently. I don't think it was a bad idea to try. I do think that trying unmasked them a little bit, and I don't mean that in a jokey way, considering we all had to mask up again today. Yeah, I think that they maybe could have hidden a bit better, and if they had just ridden defensively, that maybe that would have been a better idea. But I think that they don't think Vingegaard's getting better. I think they probably know
that makes
this.
sense.
And so they're like, this is it, right? Like, we're not going to the Alps. He's not going to be better next week. So we got to try today, and we got to try to take some time back. And they gave it a shot. Like, what it ended up looking like, though, really, was like a bunch of buddies setting up their friend for a Strava KOM. Like, that's basically
Jesus Christ.
It's what it looked like.
It did a little bit.
Like, even so, Pogačar's attack, his final attack, right?
Yeah.
That, and this is, like, I think, something to his credit. We talked about his sort of instincts yesterday, and his instincts around sending Yates up the road and all that. I think his instincts were really good again today, because he got the elbow flick from Vingegaard. And instead of just pulling through, he's like, oh,
okay then.
The elbow flick means he doesn't want to pull anymore, which means he's tired, which means I'm going to attack right now. And turns out it worked.
Didn't look tired the
well.
whole way up, Pogačar, really.
No, he looked fine.
And he could have wheel sucked Vingegaard all the way to the line, but then if you're feeling good enough, you know, they'll talk about wanting to cross the finish lines alone and get those pictures. But what we did notice, Pogačar's not solely sold on the fact that he's won this tour, because he kept the pace up all the way and didn't celebrate until he was over the line. Even Remco pushed the Garmin off just before the finish line.
Well, and Vingegaard stopped pedaling before the Tour de France, so he maybe is less confident in
before the
needing
finish line.
those seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Post-stage, Well, before that, any other thoughts on the tactics today?
You picked this up actually, Caley, but I will say it so you don't have to throw it yourself. On French TV, actually, I think there's a member on Discord watching French TV, and Tadej Pogačar saying that today he was happy to try and let a Frenchman win on Bastille Day, but Visma had other ideas. Not wholly sure on that. I mean, that's the way it played out.
Total nonsense.
Kind of total nonsense.
He knew exactly what he was doing with that statement. Yeah, so I do believe this was only on French TV. I texted the rest of the escape crew
it's
to see.
The
It was
French
was
TV,
this on Eurosport? Was this something
they
else?
get the privilege of each day of anyone who's won a jersey or combativity prize, they get an exclusive interview after the flash interview.
Right.
There's like 4 different media things that all the jerseys have to do. Maybe 5 actually, because they got to do mix zone as well.
Yeah. Which is also the thing that tells me it was quite calculated, because he only bothered to say that to French television. He didn't say it to Eurosport. He didn't say it to anybody else. So yes, Pogačar sucking up to the French people, saying, I would never chase your lovely French boys on Bastille Day of all days.
It's a sacred day.
A sacred
To
day.
be fair, everyone's always sucking up to the French a bit. Like the guys who are going to be wearing yellow jerseys a lot often learn a bit of French to be able to talk to the French public in their native language. And Pogačar, I think, actually probably knows a bit of French because his mum is a French teacher back in Slovenia.
He quite famously can say croissant.
Oh, that was quite turgid, wasn't it? Last year, a bit Anthony turgid.
He also prefers a chocolatine. That is the last pastry that, if he had to choose one pastry for the rest of his life.
I've been seeing, I think it's because when we're connected to French internet, we then get their algorithms bit. I've been seeing that there's some culture warsy stuff between whether you call it a pain au chocolat or a chocolatine. So just the whole world is just basically fucked. Because if you're arguing over chocolate croissants, then, you're done.
I think it's a local regional thing.
It's like the potato scallop versus potato cake versus, I think there's something else ridiculous.
When Josh Robinson, a Wall Street Journal noted actual French person, shows back up in
we'll ask him
tomorrow or the next day, soon, we'll ask him.
Would you like?
I would like stats.
Some exclusive stats.
Exclusive.
That I've got. These are going to blow your mind.
Johnny, you wouldn't even tell us what these are.
No.
The run sheet just says Johnny has stats.
Yeah.
So
I don't usually have stats. Usually I hate stats. But I've got some good ones today.
Let's hear them.
Okay. The last time Carlos Alcaraz beat Novak Djokovic in a Wimbledon final.
Which happened today.
Yes. Who was in the yellow jersey? Tadej Pogačar last year.
Ah.
The last time England were in a Euros final in 2021.
Andorra.
Who was in the yellow jersey?
Who was in it in the yellow in Andorra?
Teddy Publicals.
Tadej Pogačar. The last time a presidential candidate had an assassination attempt.
Tadej Pogačar.
It was not. I just need to quickly pull up.
It is the last time a presidential candidate had an assassination.
Yes, but before that.
Oh,
that's
before
the point.
that.
That's the point. That's the comparison one. George Wallace, 1972, Democratic candidate.
Oh.
Tadej Pogačar.
In the pink jersey of the Giro d'Italia that day, the old cannibal, Eddie Merckx.
Ah.
Look at that.
What stats?
Because Pogačar's the new cannibal, so you get it? The last one
I got it.
But yeah,
We'll pick
there
up
we go.
with
We
it
should have
right
known before today what was going to happen.
That's what was going to go down.
You thought it was going to be better, didn't you?
No, I'm pretty impressed actually.
Okay.
Those are good
Ian's
stats.
not. Ian hates it. Found something Ian hates more than football. It's tennis.
No, I'm gonna watch some football tonight.
Oh yeah, because there's going to be loads of Spanish here as well, aren't
I
there?
don't
It'll be
really
great.
have a
Yeah,
choice.
we're not that far from Spain.
There is always a choice.
I mean, I could go to bed, but then
Yeah.
I don't get to hang out with my friends.
Aww.
In a
babes.
nice little hotel near the river.
And there's like a 12-foot wide screen for us.
Oh.
it's so
Okay,
good.
can we just talk about this hotel and like the vibe of it? Now
Yeah.
we've done the racing and stuff.
Well, we have to
This is
admit that we
great.
didn't go to the top.
Yes, but that is because we've just received a WhatsApp message from ASO handler Christophe Morel, who you might have read about if you didn't know who he was already in the Tour Daily, what's it called, Cinematic Universe article, which we finally uploaded, that explains to you who all these colourful characters are. And Christophe Morel sent a message to because there's an evacuation every day off the mountains, because there's one road and there's loads of fans with motorhomes, and they actually need to get the riders and
The
everyone
motorhomes are like
working.
facing the wrong direction, and
Yeah.
you
It's
basically have
all
like
a nightmare.
10,000 people doing 27-point turns trying to turn the thing around
Yeah.
on the
It is
side
so
of a
bad.
mountain.
It's a nightmare. So
bad.
they're not allowed to move for
Right.
until like midnight, basically. And so you have to get in the evacuation if you want to get off the mountain.
Otherwise, you're doomed.
And the teams go first, then the caravan, or caravan then teams, can't remember. And Christophe Morel has just said, caravan evacuation is almost done. Welcome to the Hunger Games, to describe how our colleagues in the press are going to be getting off that mountain today. So instead, we checked into our hotel early. There's a massive screen doing some work. We've got to do work. We can't just be having jollies up the mountain every single day. And it's
stories.
a lovely Pyrenean sort of family, gaggle of people who speak half Spanish, half French.
Zero English.
Weirdest accent.
And it's like they speak French, but then have Spanish
There's like
words
Spanish
thrown in.
words just chucked
Like
in there.
24
Yeah.
was 24. And they say
Strange.
nunca instead of... Oh, I forgot. Oh, my French is so bad. Lost French during this tour. I'm off
I
the
ordered
back.
some drinks in French.
You did. That was
Went
big.
real well.
That was
really
huge.
did.
But yeah, lovely. Their friends had popped over and they were giving them ice cream and pie at like 5:30 p.m.
The chef came out to watch the cycling and fell asleep.
Had a nap so he can cook us our good stuff later. She?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure who it was.
We are in the back courtyard at the moment at the river, and there are
Stray cats.
Stray cats.
seven
There's some little
stray
kittens which are a bit cute.
There are some little kittens as well. I got really excited when we arrived and looked at the courtyard because I thought, so many future friends. And then I came down and they all scattered. But there is one
And,
right
have
next
and
to
there's
us.
strays.
We have
so
had
they're
to tell you
kinda
not
gross.
to touch them, Ian.
Yeah, I know, which is really disappointing.
The other fun thing of watching the tour on TV with the local family is I was hearing them talking about it throughout the stage, and they were like referencing like Laurent Fignon and talking about that. Like probably the last time they bothered to like watch the
Well,
tour.
I would
ever.
imagine that the tour comes through this valley regularly. They
Yeah,
probably
true.
watch it every summer.
They probably at least watch the
At
stage
least
when it comes
this
past it.
stage.
Because then we were watching it, and as it came into the town Tarascon, I think we're in.
Yeah, yeah.
As it came past, we're like, oh, we drove past that, and they're like, oh wait, that's the garden of the place we're at, and then we pointed, and they're like, yeah, and then we all pretend to like wave the helicopter, even though there's a roof above our heads. It was great. It was bonding. Friendship tour continues apace. I
it's
think.
really good.
What were we talking about before this? How did we get on this?
Don't know, but Biniam Gamay also got relegated for his intermediate sprint today.
That's actually worth mentioning because we were talking green jersey yesterday, and if he had gotten all of the points for that, he pretty much numerically would have had it sealed up. As it was, he got relegated to third in that group, so I think he only ended up with 2 points. Don't quote me on that. And yeah, ended up he's still got it's 363 to 277, so it's still pretty much done. There's only one true sprint stage left.
He just swerved across the road in front of Michael Matthews, I think, who's
Yeah.
just maybe keeping himself entertained. Do you think as punishment he'll have to warm up for tomorrow's stage on the rollers facing his own bus? Or do you think that's something that only Mark Madio is making the Groupama FDJ boys do?
They've had a rough tour.
Yeah.
They've done nothing.
A tour sans.
Excuse me.
Brian Cocard on French TV today was very excited because he had caught David Gaudu on the Plateau de Beille.
So brutal.
Which, let's be clear, he shouldn't be doing.
No.
David Gaudu going real slow if you're getting caught by Brian Cocard.
But in the same stage, David Gaudu was first across the line to get some KOM points on the first mountain. So huge day for David Gaudu.
Huge.
Huge.
Yet he's still
I know.
sixth in the mountains classification.
Yes, but it's movement.
It's the dichotomy of the tour where it's like the best days and 3 weeks for some people, and others it's just abject misery of
Yeah.
the whole year building up to it and then nothing.
I mean, it's fair to say that they're not having a good tour.
They're having a terrible tour.
But David Gaudu was on TV today. That's
Valentin
something.
Madoua is 33rd. He's already doesn't qualify for the Miles Sabla. He's an hour and 39 minutes back.
The thing with Valentin Madoua
Let me tell you something.
is that he looks the most like he is high of most of the people in the peloton.
He does. No,
He looks like he's just
sometime-
listening to like Stoner Rock, and
Let me Google him.
yeah, look up a picture because he's just got like a real shaggy-headed sort of vibe of somebody that has
Yeah, he does.
put on some sleep or something or
I'm showing them. If you just Google him, the first picture comes up in the French tricolor.
I mean, do you know what he looks like?
No,
he is
French
out of
tricolor
his
group, aren't
scone.
He looks Aussie.
He does a bit. Who? Oh no, that was we were talking about.
Does he
Dave.
not?
We're-
He
Yeah,
looks
does a
like
bit.
he's from Adelaide. If we're
I-
introducing culture.
We'll do- oh, that's what we didn't talk about in After Dark the other day.
Oh, we'll come back
Let's
to it.
bring back to that. Okay, other stoners in the peloton. Remy Cavagna. He's like the sort that also like sets a light to things in like the park, like when he's 17 after school. He's got that look about him. I would also say Jonathan Castroviejo is a bit of a stoner, but he only smokes hash. There you go. There's a listicle we would have written if we were a digital media company back in 2015. Other things
Flip-flop.
from the stage. Flip-flop. Well,
flip-flop.
before, to lead into flip-flop,
Yeah.
an update on Crispgate yesterday.
We did real
We did some
journalism.
research, and the research was looking around in the various crisp
Well, wait.
packets.
Before we get to that, the real reporting done by Kit today, and also Le Parisien and everyone else. The Spectator who threw the crisps, I can't call them chips, sorry, the crisps at Pogačar and
They
Vingegaard
weren't either, actually.
is in police custody. So he's in police custody. He's going to do some real serious time. But they
think he's-
weren't crisps or chips because Caley threats. What did we find out when we were watching the replay?
Well, we watched it over and over and over again, and luckily we
nice.
had an array of French
We've been eating
crunchy
beaucoup de crisp.
in the car. So we were just sort of looking around, and we realized that the bag was this blue bag.
Yeah.
Looked very much.
Well, the freeze frame
yeah,
actually shows that the crisps are triangle shaped.
they are trying. Well,
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 they're
I would
not.
even say
Well, in a 2D plane,
cone shaped.
sure, they're maize cones, as it says on the packet. Bugles.
They're bugles. They were bugles.
Bugles Gut Nature.
Yep, which is exactly the ones that we had in our car. We
Yeah.
were not the bugle throwers, just to be very clear.
We were not. Because no.
We would never.
No.
Although our
well,
pack
are we
was
all
also
here or
empty.
are we in jail?
We did
Proof.
discuss that we should maybe find out how much it hurts to get hit in the face with bugles. So we were going to drive down the road and have someone throw
Shall we do
bugles
that?
in
Should we do
our-
that on the rest day tomorrow?
That could be a good investigative piece tomorrow.
I'd also say
That's
that
fine.
I have my bike. I can ride at what was it? Like roughly 22, 23 kilometers an hour.
Yeah,
And you could be the
Going
guy
upstairs.
and you could put chuck bugles
and
in my face.
he wasn't like piffing them at
No,
the face. It was like he sort of lobbed them up. So
Right.
it was
So then,
it was more like wedding confetti
well,
kind
I
of
reckon
thing.
that was probably his argument, being like, I didn't throw them at him, I threw them up, and then he rode into the bugles. Like, you know, when you were young and you've done something to your brother or sister, and you're offering your defense
I was
to
just
your
swinging
parent,
my
like-
arm around and my brother got in the way.
Exactly. That sort is that sort of thing.
I would also say that last night I was not complimentary about the fact that somebody was throwing chips around.
Kind of were.
No,
You're
I
pro
specifically
bugle.
did not condone it. But at that point, we didn't yet realize that it was bugles that we were dealing with.
And now you're into it.
So if they were no, now I'm not into it.
Bugles are kind of sharp.
Sharp and heavy.
Yeah.
And they're also kind of shit.
No.
No.
They're great.
Excuse me.
You can put them on your fingers like a witch.
Yeah.
You can wear them on your fingers like a witch. But I would also say that all of us, when we've tried them, have been like, these are kind of shit. After a little while, like
No. I
first-
love
No,
them.
they're
I,
good.
I ate so many. I ate most of the package and
Yeah.
I felt sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, you felt sick, and you're like,
That's what you
the
want from any
bugles are no
snack.
good.
No, we need to get them more. There's better flavors. We haven't gone for the best flavor. I'm pretty sure there's some other
but
more
the
fun
flavors
flavors.
are so shit here. It's like roast chicken and
What
then
flavors
there's
do you have in Australia then that are good?
No, I just eat original.
Give me like some
Oh,
poulet
Ian, come
roti,
on. Live a little.
fromage.
Yeah, there was one.
Stanky
there was
fromage.
No, we're not getting those crisps.
We
Those
got those
the
before and
goat
stuck up
cheese
the whole
ones,
car.
which was
Gross
so
crisps.
awful.
It was a combination of that and Mikey's Monster Energy drink obsession, which sort of was like
It was
powder
sweet
coated
and
So
way down
sour.
first.
tomorrow, rest day,
Yeah.
members only podcast. You have to be a member to get this podcast. We will be performing this experiment.
Yeah.
I'll ride
I
down
think we
the
should do
road
everything
Oh,
video
this is
article
agreed.
podcast.
This is great.
and you'll
Yeah.
you'll
Took half a
chuck.
Cronenberg for Caley to agree to get some crisps chucked in his face.
All right,
We'll have to make sure we know which
Flip-flop.
way the winds are going.
flip flop.
Flip flop. A man was running. Another reason to just stand by the side of the road and just cheer.
Stop running.
Stop running,
Get
especially
out
if
of
you're
the way
in
of the
flip
bike
flops.
race.
Because then this guy was running alongside. His flip flop came off his foot, went under Pogačar's bike, and like clipped the rear wheel a bit, and he got out. But we got a really good slow mo French replay on French television.
They love a good slow mo. Yeah.
To see the danger.
I mean, genuinely,
yeah, it
if
could've been bad.
it had gotten stuck in the spokes in the front,
Yeah.
like and wedged in between the front wheel and the fork, Pogačar would have been on the ground before he even knew it hit him.
Yeah.
Like it's a very bad way to crash. I once had prairie dogs.
Kind of. They like hyena jackal type things.
No,
they
they're like
little,
tiny. They're like fat
rodents?
squirrels.
Okay.
Why are they called a
With no
prairie
tail.
dog then? That is
They look kind of like
Like chinchilla?
what are the ones in Africa?
A meerkat.
Meerkats. They look kind of like a crappy meerkat. Yeah, they're like small.
A crappy meerkat.
Yeah. No,
What
they
a
are.
review.
They're
3.4 stars on Google.
Let's put them in room 101 with
like-
Grisha Newman.
they're like a 2.3 stars on Google. They're kind of the worst. They carry the plague. They're no good. They are used to like prevent like development regularly. Like environmentalists or say you can't
that's
move
your
the prairie dogs.
the NIMBYism in the
Yeah,
West
there's like
of
prairie
America
dog
is prairie
NIMBYism,
dog
and we're like we just
protection.
need more houses because there's lots of people, and then they're like, no, we can't because there's prairie dogs. here.
Really? That is wild.
Anyway,
Anyway, the flip-flop.
politics.
Yeah.
I once cut a prairie dog in half because
No, Caley.
I was
Have we
commuting.
not heard this before?
I was commuting from my
you
old
weren't even racing. You were
no,
commuting.
No. I was commuting from my old house. It was in Boulder, and I was riding. I was working at Velo-News, and I would ride down the Goose Creek path in Boulder. And anybody who lives in Boulder or has ridden in Boulder knows the Goose Creek path is prairie dog central. And what they do is they wait for you on the side of the bike path, and right as you're about to pass, they run in front of you.
That doesn't sound.
Were you like on your Mad Max styled bike
I-
with loads of sort of like saws and spears and shit?
No, I was just riding my Cannondale CAD 3 commuter bike. It was great.
hell of a bike?
And
No free ads, please.
I was riding down the Goose Creek path,
For
and it
30-year-old
jumped.
bikes.
It jumped into
Don't
my
fucking
front
know.
wheel and like basically scrunched itself into a couple pieces, and I crashed heavily.
So you want sympathy for
I'm just saying
murdering.
that flip flop prairie dog, similar outcome. That's all I'm saying. It probably less blood.
If only the Secret Service had been there.
What?
Don't know. No
Just
conspiracy hats today.
Just something to think about. Do your own research.
I've got a link to send you.
Moral of the story: don't run
flip-flops.
next to the bike riders.
It
you look
also-
like an idiot. Everyone hates you, and you could maybe actually genuinely hurt them. Like
Yeah.
you were like centimeters away
Yeah.
from crashing.
It's actually quite scary
the guy
being
who's
there.
probably going to win the Tour de France. Don't
Yeah.
go anywhere near him.
You'd be on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Everyone's
you'd be in jail.
everyone's
That's what
yeah.
they've been jailing people.
The
Don't do it.
The one thing it did remind me of, because it's quite a weird item to potentially have a massive impact on a sporting event. Similarly beach themed was once in the Premier League, football hit a beach ball right by Pepe. I think it's Pepe Reina's goal playing for Liverpool, or maybe it was a Sunderland keeper against Liverpool, and it hit the beach ball and then diverted the football to go in the goal. And it was just one of those things where it's an object from another like realm that shouldn't be in the place it is, and that's what I
Yes.
thought when I saw the flip flop.
Don't run next to the bike riders. It's no good.
I'd also say that flip flops are a pretty bad choice to shoot. If you
Yeah,
are going to be
I
doing
thought
any running.
they died out. I thought like they were one of those things that COVID just had finally killed off, maybe, and everyone
We
just
all
wears
wear
sliders
Birkenstocks.
now.
Transmission
We all wear
vector.
Birkenstocks now.
Birkenstocks or sliders if you're,
Yeah.
being more casual. Like, yeah, like airports, I think, are the last place, like the Havana stand, where you can buy flip-flops. But anyway.
Can we talk about the Heimar Zabeldia still in the top 10 somehow, what we haven't seen you award?
Yeah, after we mentioned that Pog did that climb in the big ring.
He did do it in the big ring. Only a bit of it. Only a bit of it. He did the bit at the end that was like 6%.
Still.
It's still nuts.
He
still
must have
nuts.
been pretty happy with that. The wider
Because his
shot on the
big ring is
TV.
also big.
Big
It's not.
ring.
It's big. Like he's not even on a 53. He's on a 54, 55.
Sorry, what did you want to talk about? Hi, Marcy Baldia.
The Heimar Zabeldia Award for the top 10 rider that we haven't literally seen or spoken about or anything in a very long time.
Okay, I'm looking at the top 10 now. Who's your candidate for it?
So first
What
of
did
all,
you say?
I want to
Did
make
you-
very clear. I want to make something very clear.
This is...
This is not an insult. This
It's
generally
good.
means that they've actually done quite a good job sort of hiding themselves
Yeah.
and riding consistently into the top 10. You know, they're probably just not attacking Tadej Pogačar, which is
Reasonable thing
almost
to
nobody
do.
is. So we have three. We have 8th, 9th, and 10th. And I would say that actually 8th, which is Giulio Ciccone.
Yes,
got a bunch of
by
TV
a
time today.
mile. Oh, he did.
No.
He's still...
He doesn't. I don't think he qualifies. He get too much
Really?
TV time. They keep cutting back to him. Derek G,
Yeah,
the Canadian menace. That's not his name.
not that into birds
Not that into birds
anymore.
He's in 9th, 16 minutes back, which is genuinely
Pretty good.
an incredible ride.
Yeah.
Like we need to go talk to Derek G at some point. Might be slightly more difficult after the story
Yeah.
we wrote a couple days ago, but we will try. We'll go talk to Derek G. And then behind him, Santiago Buitrago.
Yeah.
I can't say that Spanish
Buitrago.
name properly. Buitrago. I was trying to roll my R and I can't. I apologize. Bahrain victorious. sitting in 10th place right now.
The one rider who's not ill or abandoned this race, so he's doing something right.
Also, Ben Healy's in 13th. You guys know that?
Yeah, he's having a great tour.
He's having an amazing tour.
We're going to try and set up a little one-on-one with him on Monday, but it depends on these COVID rules coming back. If we're going to be maybe we're going to have to use the extra long
We have a really long cable.
so
Yeah.
What we could do, I don't know if this has been floated in the
should we invite him in the
years.
car to throw crisps at Caley?
I mean, that would be a social activity. But what I think could be more fun is if we set up some sort of relay system where we say what we want to say and then whisper it into the ear of a press officer who whispers it into the ear of another press officer, and then they relay the message to him, and then we see what he actually gets as the thing. Playing a game of telephone and then see what Ben Healy says to our 3 times tweaked answers.
Well, EF do have 3 press officers or something, so we could just do it inter-team.
Can we talk about time cut?
Almost
everyone made it.
Arnaud Demar, 50 seconds within on Bastille Day. What a treat for the French public.
He looked quite distressed.
Mark Cavendish also looked distressed. He crossed the line, hunched over his bike. Who didn't make it?
Poor little Bram Welton.
Bram Welton.
I'm just going to say it. Does have the name of a rider who would miss the time cut at the Tour de France.
81
You know what I mean?
kilograms. Place of birth, Tilburg, Netherlands.
Yeah. Maybe a heavier fella.
This
Or
is
it
not
a
his
heavier fella?
terrain.
No.
Oh, well, better than most other people.
But John Degenkolb waited for him and gave him a pat on the back.
That's nice.
Of course, nice.
Gerben Thiessen, the other sprinter over at Intermarché,
Yeah.
also DNF today.
Do you want to talk about when Iain got a Coca-Cola inside when we were watching the race, and then Pogačar was given a Coca-Cola a few moments later, and the woman who gave Iain the Coca-Cola just turned around, pointed at Iain, and was like, Coca pour l'Australie, and was making the comparison between Iain and Tadej Pogačar and their afternoon activities and
In
drinking
many
habits.
ways similar.
Yeah, that was just fun. That was just on the list.
I think it's almost time for us to head to After Dark, but of
Well-
course, before we do that,
Maya Sablé first.
yes.
We didn't get to talk to UAE Team Emirates' who was it yesterday?
Hold on,
Cannot
I can-
remember.
Pavel Sivakov.
Pavel Sivakov. We
yes.
didn't, unfortunately. And tomorrow's my Sablé.
Miles Sablé is currently 22nd place. We've reached that point in the tour already.
1 hour, 2 minutes, 6 seconds. Movistar. Enrique Menos. Or Enrique Mas, as he's used to be known. That's an
Really?
interesting one, yeah.
Has he changed his surname?
No, it's just what
No, it's
Is
a
Menos
Maso Menos
less?
joke.
Mas means more, Menos means less in Spanish.
Yeah, okay. That's very funny. If I spoke Spanish.
It's a bit rude. I mean, they don't listen. They definitely don't listen to this podcast.
No.
And if I had to put my life on anyone not listening to this podcast, it's Movistar.
Wilco Kelderman just narrowly missed it.
We could ask Enrique Mas about the Maya Sablé, and also if he enjoyed watching his Spanish team playing the Euros final on the bus with all of his Spanish friends and colleagues getting absolutely battered by the brave English boys.
It's going to be a real weird night over at Movistar
Yeah.
because they have a rest day coming up, so they could do anything. They could stay out.
And it probably wouldn't make a
Late.
difference to their Tour de France, really, would it?
Absolutely not.
Like, where are they in the team classification? Because they were leading it on stage 2, and they whipped
are
out
not.
those yellow helmets quick smart.
They are
wow, they're not even
seventh.
top 10. Oh no, they are. Sorry, 7th. 2 hours, 23 minutes, 41 seconds behind.
Certainly looked like
dropped.
Mikel Landa was trying to pull Soudal Quickstep up into the team classification rankings today
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, UAE are going to win it, I think.
by a lot.
55 minutes ahead of Visma Lease bike.
Yeah.
That's fun. We've got the yellow jersey in the polka dot competition, at the head of the polka dot competition again, which just fills me with sadness, to be honest. It's stupid.
Yeah, we should fix the polka dots.
Because then Vingegaard also has to wear polka dots, which is then just sad for him.
Yep.
No one actually enjoys this, probably. It's rubbish.
Tadej Pogačar wore some polka dot sunglasses for a bit and said it's
Today?
my jersey.
Ah, that wouldn't have looked good with this yellow.
I don't think he
See?
wore them all day.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
So
I
he's
looked at a
just
close
swapping
photo.
sunglasses.
Yeah, who do you think he is? Just a quick mention as well. Tomorrow we've got a rest day podcast, but if you want some serious breakdown of the Tour de France, Dane Cash, Cosmo Catalano will be recording and publishing a How the Race Was Won podcast. And obviously now, because we've split out the feeds and made it much more digestible, you actually have to go and search that podcast. So go and do that if
And subscribe.
you're
So you get all of them.
famished from no Tour de France stage tomorrow.
Yep.
And subscribe, yeah.
Go subscribe to How the Races Won. It'll be a great pod. There's certainly a lot of tactical stuff to talk about from this week, and they'll break it all down in a way that makes sense to even dum-dums like us.
I should listen, really.
Sorry, can I just fact check?
Fact check.
Go on.
Dum-dums or?
No. Just subscriptions.
Mm.
How much does that cost?
Oh, this one's free, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We're just talking about subscribing to the podcast feed, to the How the Races Won podcast feed,
okay.
Obviously, there's also the $1.
which you should do if you want to get the members-only Q&A pod,
Yeah.
mailbag pod tomorrow, mailbag plus throwing bugles in my face pod tomorrow.
Pretty good.
Yeah. We should... I'm trying to think of another name. Trying to pull out of thin air of someone who might not be subscribed for even $1 for the first month. escapecollective.com/TDF.
Probably like Mike.
I'm thinking Tom.
Tom?
Tom.
Tom.
Tom
on,
Clifton.
Tom Clifton.
Yeah.
Do you know a Tom Clifton?
Just have a sense that they might be listening and might not be paid up member.
Huh?
You know, sometimes you get this feeling, it's like Pogačar today when he
Yeah.
knew he could attack Vingegaard. Just a sense that someone's listening and not paying.
Well, Tom, you know what to do. And the rest of you, I mean, unless you want to end up like Tom,
Yeah.
you know what to do too.
Punch those card details in. Quick, sharp.
We actually don't have a Jose bit for you today. And this is a Jose request. The piece is on a geology event called Messinian Salinity Crisis. And basically what Jose said to me was, it's kind of better as a written piece than a podcast piece. So go over to the website, check it out, give it a read. But we're not going to run the Jose audio this evening. She'll obviously be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's head after dark.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.